Nearly 7 years ago, back in July of 2017, I made a video about a history book I owned growing up, and it had some of the worst maps I had ever seen. They were inaccurate, sloppy, and in some cases almost concerning. The video ended up doing really well, and it inspired me to do more videos talking about other bad maps I had seen, so I did a sequel video that also did very well. Soon I had an outright series all about horrible maps, and even included things like a tournament and an award show. Kind of. However, as time had gone on, I'd admittedly grown a bit bored of the series. I had a harder time finding unique bad maps after a while, so I eventually had you guys start sending them in, and that definitely helped. But even then, the series was starting to kind of drag. Some of the maps were clearly bad on purpose. Some weren't even that bad to begin with. They just had minor mistakes. Then overall, it just felt like there were only so many ways I could say that coastline is sloppy or that shape is wrong, without it all kind of sounding the same after a while. But I felt like I needed to keep the series going, because not only were viewers actively sending me bad maps all the time, but the videos were usually successful on my channel, so it kind of felt stupid not to keep making them. I was kind of worried I'd be stuck doing this series forever, but almost like a weird sort of blessing, the most recent couple of horrible map videos didn't hit as well. And I even saw a few occasional comments expressing the same boredom with the series that I had been feeling for some time now. With that in mind, I decided that meant I could finally end the horrible map series and try other things. Don't get me wrong, there will definitely be future videos about critiquing bad maps, like perhaps about a specific map in a game, or I imagine there will be some AI map horrors that will appear in the near future. But for a general series of the bad maps of the month or whatever, this is going to be the final one. For those of you who love this series, I promise I'll still have plenty of map-based content. That's not changing. In fact, sometime in the late spring or early summer, I'll be starting a new series on maps I love rather than maps I hate or cringe at. There are some amazing maps out there made by passionate cartography nerds that I would enjoy sharing with the world, and I imagine that would be a series I wouldn't grow bored of anytime soon. Negativity can be draining, but passion can be much more fulfilling. So this video will go through the final batch of user-sent bad maps, as well as go over some of the worst maps this series has had over the years, as a sort of send-off. So let's send it off with a bang. But first, this video is sponsored by Private Internet Access. I value my privacy and believe that personal data is, well, personal. I don't want random strangers and companies to pry on that and sell it, and I can't imagine you do either. That's why you should protect it using Private Internet Access VPN. Private Internet Access, or PIA, is a VPN provider available for all platforms that hides your IP address and encrypts your internet connection. PIA is considered the world's most transparent VPN provider, as despite having over 30 million downloads of its VPN, they never record or store user data. You can even use it for an unlimited number of devices at the same time, and it's even one of the few VPNs that support peer-to-peer file sharing. Have you ever wanted to watch something on a streaming service but found it's only available in a different country? Like, for example, I enjoy Archer, but for some reason it's only on Netflix and everywhere else but the United States. All I have to do is change my geolocation with the VPN, and now I can watch it on Netflix just fine. By clicking my link in the description, you can get 83% off on Private Internet Access, which means you'd only be paying $2.03 a month, and that's in addition to also getting 4 extra months for free. If in spite of all that you still somehow don't enjoy PIA, there's 24/7 customer support and a 30-day money-back guarantee. So click the link below, sign up for Private Internet Access VPN, and thanks to Private Internet Access for sponsoring this video. Okay, now let's get into the bad maps. This first one was sent in by Pantorcha, and it's your typical bad mobile game style map. However, it definitely has one of the more classic tropes, Turkey being missing for some reason. Looks like the British Isles are missing too, although something new is seeing Tasmania being moved a bit northeast to in between Australia and New Zealand. We'll say 6 out of 10. Next, sent by Eva and Levi, we have the all too common post-World War I map of Europe and the Middle East. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely some sloppy borders and the occasional weird error, like Iran owning Armenia down here, but overall, when it comes to post-World War I maps, especially ones from a textbook, this really doesn't come anywhere close to the worst I've seen. I mean, maybe I'm getting soft, but it could have been a lot worse, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Map 3 is sent in by Tetno, and at first I almost didn't even see the problem. I'm not an expert on French subdivisions before and after the revolution, so if there were any mistakes in that department... Well, if there were any mistakes with those, I wouldn't know enough to be able to spot them out. But then I saw the areas outside of France. In both cases, they're weirdly using modern borders, but also including independent Savoy, which I guess is the one accurate thing here besides, well, Spain and England, I guess. But even the modern borders they drew are definitely off, which is very noticeable, especially with Luxembourg over here. This actually kind of makes me feel conflicted because on the one hand, the main focus of the map, for all I know, is mostly correct and really doesn't look that bad. But the surrounding stuff is personally bothersome enough to me where I kind of want to give this a 6 out of 10. Maybe I'm getting too rough in my old age. I don't know. Comment below and tell me what you think. This next map is a photo sent in by Jacob, and it appears to be at a zoo of some kind. Typically, the animal exhibits at zoos will have an information panel about the animal, its statistics, its habitat, and at first glance it doesn't seem that bad, but when I zoom in on the habitat map, there's some double Russia going on. It's like someone made a copy of Russia and then dropped it from the sky onto the middle of Asia, and the red splotches are the tragic aftermath of 1 billion people being crushed by a giant tundra. I'm also not sure why this border across India is here either. And if this red is supposed to be the range of this animal, I find it weird that some of the range is over the sea. And honestly, this map, considering it was probably made digitally, I've kind of noticed that digital maps are the only type of maps that will have mistakes like double Russia or splotches in like the wrong place over the sea, typically. Because it's the type of thing where you make like a shape and drag it around, probably. I don't know, I'd imagine. But it's the only way I can think of like that mistake kind of happening. But overall, it's definitely quite a mess. 4 out of 10. From Anonymous, we have a map of Cantonese opera performances around the world. I almost thought somehow China was missing on the map, but upon closer inspection, it is there. I think it's just the lighting of the picture. It's a very light color, but it's there. Half of Indonesia and Malaysia, however, is actually missing, as well as several of those Canadian Arctic islands and the Japanese island of Hokkaido. No idea why they thought this depiction of the Philippines was passable, and oh god, the Persian Gulf, Black Sea, and Caspian Sea are all filled in too. Okay, this is actually getting worse the longer I look at it. 3 out of 10. From Miranda, we have a map from Insider showing some sort of flow map, I guess. There's not really any context with this map. And there are definitely some mistakes in the form of a lot of countries being combined with others in several spots. And of course, like the last map, the Caspian Sea, Black Sea, and the Great Lakes are all filled in by accident too. Again. Although, for some reason, it's as if these mistakes are slightly cleaner than the other ones, if that makes sense. So it bothers me, but it doesn't quite bother me as much as the opera map. 5 out of 10. Quick edit here. While I was editing this video, I just realized that this map was kind of familiar. And then when I looked at my older horrible map videos, I realized that this is that same pathetic Getty Images world map. So Insider not only put together a terrible map, they used a Getty Images map. They actually paid for this. Oh god, you know, I think I'm just going to retroactively lower the score to a 2 out of 10 now. Anyway, back to the video. From Anonymous, we have a map that appears to be a screenshot of a video from some YouTuber named Imp Error Tide Jerster. Well, let me tell you, as someone who has mapped out the Napoleonic Wars multiple times, this is one of the ugliest depictions of 1812 Europe I've ever seen. The borders are sloppy and ugly, and there's definitely several mistakes, including uncolored islands in several places, but the most egregious thing is definitely the coloring. Blue Britain? Yellow Prussia? That doesn't even make any sense whatsoever. I mean, I guess it's a more artistic opinion than a map mistake, but whoever this Imp Error Tiger Stare is, he probably shouldn't bother making any more maps. 1 out of 10. Okay, let's see our final map sent in by Presley. You know, it's all there. All the problems are here. It's a map that's so bad that I don't even have to explain it to anyone, you know? Even the less geographically inclined are going to notice something is off with this map, and honestly, this series couldn't have ended any other way. Nope out of 10. Well, thanks to everyone for submitting the final batch of horrible maps, at least until I feel like rebooting this series like 3 years from now or something like that. But like I said, I'll be making an awesome map series, and I really hope that you will all tune into that once I make it. And you can also support this channel with my Patreon, which will help not only keep the channel going, but also give me the opportunity to try even more wacky or strange map-related content in the future. I've never been a team of people, it's only just been me on this channel, so your support is all the help for this channel. So really, thank you. And as a final send-off to this series, here's a brief compilation of every nope out of 10 map this series has ever had.